And so when it comes to making images of Christ, we don't need to be pharisaical and stress that the images don't look exactly like Jesus. They are our interpretation of what he might have looked like. And often, that will reflect our own culture that we are in. I have no problem with a culture having a white Jesus or a black Jesus or an Asian Jesus, because Jesus is the Savior of all of us. And when we make an image of Jesus, we do that as not the exact image of Jesus, but as a representative of Jesus to help us to feel close to our Savior, to remind us of what he did for us, help us to create some kind of a visual connection with Jesus. And that is normally easier done when the image we're looking at looks like us. So we don't need to have an image that looks exactly like Jesus, because the purpose of the images in the church are not meant to be photographs of Jesus. It doesn't matter whether the image looks exactly like Jesus, because that's not the purpose. We're not worshipping the images. The images are simply symbols that help connect us to Christ, that help remind us of Christ, that help direct our worship towards Christ. Therefore, they don't need to be perfect images, because they, like the cross, like the Trinity symbol, like the fish symbol, they're all symbols of Christ. So it doesn't matter whether it's a cross, whether it's a Trinity symbol, whether it's a fish, whether it's a lamb, whether it's the crucifix with the actual crucified Christ on it, whether it's a Christus Rex, that's the crucifix with Christ as a king on it. It doesn't really matter, because all of these are symbols that help point our worship towards Christ. They don't need to be perfect representations, because all they are is symbolic representations. We don't worship the images. They are symbols that direct our worship. So I hope that answers the question. I've been your host, Reverend Jake Zabel. Goodbye and God bless.